School Complex. I would like to welcome all the participants for today's workshop and session. And today, very important topic we are going to cover here, reading literacy. As we all schools are the part of CBSE, and CBSE has given us target on regarding in this year especially for competency based education. Means we have to take care of about our student related to the competency based education. And when we are talking about competency, so competency cannot be a single term. It should be with all subjects, especially if it will talk about English, maths and science. And very soon our panel of experts, our three members are here today. Mrs. Deepa Bhatt, Dr. Rita Sharma, and third one is Gunjan Bansal ma'am. So all three experts, today you will got a chance to listen all of them. And the CBSE has come with a particular three kind of manual for generating competency among the students. Very first is reading competency, second is mathematics competency, and third one is scientific competency. So if every teacher of particular subject need to read that manual, and it is quite necessary to understand about what kind of expectation CBSE is having with the students, with the teacher, and with the school. So it is our foremost duty that we should read that circular, that particular manual properly. And at Sahodhya platform, we are providing this opportunity to learn together. And in this way of learning together, today my colleagues like Deepa Bhatt ma'am will start the session, and later on Dr. Rita Sharma will continue, and then Mrs. Gunjan Bansal will continue in the to make us learn in this about this reading literacy. So I would like to welcome, first of all, without wasting the time, I would like to welcome Deepa Bhatt ma'am from Noida Educational Academy, first of all. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Deepti ma'am. You have already set the stage. You have already given the background. So it may push us in a positive way. So I'm here again. Last time in my last workshop, I described about National Curriculum Framework. And here I will start with PISA. The Program for International Student Assessment means globally, this assessment is done globally. So first of all, I just want to say that whether we have assessed ourselves or not. Last workshop also I started with the assessment, and today also, a small assessment is there, that these are some skills which to be incorporated if we want our school to be PISA ready schools. So these are some parameters. We must see whether we have developed self-management and social awareness in our students. Deepti ma'am, can you manage the waiting room? Again and again, this waiting room message is coming on the screen.
Yes, I'm doing. Please continue, Deepa ma'am.
Yeah, sorry for the gap. So whether we are prepared with these all parameters, whether we have developed all these parameters in our students so that we can say that we are PISA ready schools. So these are some traits: self-management and social awareness, interpersonal relationship, managing emotions, empathy, coping with stress, effective communication, problem solving, decision making, creative and critical thinking. This is really a world. Lot of spokes are there. If we have achieved all this, that means we have done it. That means we are ready for PISA. Now, what is PISA? So first of all, it is quite necessary to understand what is PISA. So PISA is the Program for International Student Assessment, a project of member countries of OECD. OECD is an organization for economic cooperation and development. Triennial international assessment which aims to evaluate education worldwide. Triennial means this PISA program or PISA assessment is being conducted after 3 years. Every 3 years it is conducted. Skills and knowledge of 15 years old students are tested. PISA is focusing on a child of 15-year-old age. The studies prove that, and wherever I have studied, I have also seen that it has everywhere written that a child of 8 years of age, up to a child when attains 8 years of age, the development of the mind goes on. Means the development of the mind is in the procedure. And from the age of 8 to 15 years, we can say it's a machine and needs servicing time and again. But when a child attains age of 15, the brain has already developed, and now it's a second phase of life of the child. That is why PISA is focusing on the students of 15 years of age group. So designed to assess how well learners can apply what they learn in school to real life situations. So whatever previous workshops also we have attended, in every workshop, whether it is art, integration, experiential learning, competency-based learning, everywhere the real life situation is being focused. So whatever we are teaching, whatever learning outcome is being there, that should be related to the real life situation. Ultimately, we have to live a real life. Then what are the objectives of PISA? So here a quick review of objective of PISA means it helps the government to monitor the outcomes of their education system, prepare the learner for times to come, critical thinking, problem solving, and conceptual thinking, make education future-proof. These are the objectives. Now the question comes, are we PISA ready? Yes, these are the assessment goals. How can we assess ourselves, or how PISA assesses ourselves? To assess how well student can apply what they learn in the school to real life situation. Again, the real life situation word is there. So everywhere real life situation is being focused. To measure literacy in the term of knowledge, skills, and competency. Literacy doesn't mean that reading the books, learning, mugging up, and then vomiting during the exam. Literacy means knowledge, skills, and competency, and its application also. To show what a 15-year-old has learned inside and outside the school. To evaluate outcomes learning. So PISA is based on all these factors. Now, if we are going for PISA, India is going this year, in next year 2021, India is participating in PISA. So what are the challenges before us? So these are the challenges. See, if we go internationally, globally, so some reveal India's learning outcome globally. So we have to be fit and perfect on that platform. Expose the health of our education system. Means if we are going for PISA, we must eradicate all loopholes, all whatever deficiencies are there in our education system before going for PISA. To collaborate, train, and brace the student for PISA 2021. Lead to the, then these are the outcomes. If suppose we have understood the challenges, then we can we can come to the outcomes. Outcomes are lead to improvement in the learning levels of children, enhance the quality of education in the country, which is deadly required. With this quality of education to be increased, to be enhanced, and it is deadly required in India. That is why India is adopting the policies being already adopted in the other countries, and India is going after the policy of Finland also. So target groups, as I have already told, 15 years of age is the target group for PISA. The student born, I'm talking about 2021. Student born between January 2005 to February 2006, they are eligible for PISA. Student of 15 years, 3 months to 16 years, 2 months, and student from any school, private, public, international, and aided. Only the open school students are not eligible for PISA. Then India shall be participating, as I have already told, India shall be participating in the year 2021, where 36 OECD member countries and over 50 non-members are expected to participate. Each student will be selected on the basis of random sampling, will be tested in any 2 of the 3 domains. There are 3 domains of PISA, where PISA assess They are reading literacy, mathematical literacy, and scientific literacy. In today's workshop, we are touching only reading literacy. Mathematical literacy and scientific literacy will be taken in forthcoming workshop. It will be a full workshop for all these topics. And this will be the second time we are participating. We means India. India is participating second time. First time India participated in the year 2009, and 2 states participated in it. They were Tamil Nadu and Himachal Pradesh. Procedure of PISA. In every 3 years, students complete an assessment that includes reading literacy, mathematical literacy, and scientific literacy. That is why it is called triennial program. So here, today's workshop, we will be listening and we will be learning about reading literacy. What is reading? Reading literacy is defined in PISA as the ability to understand. The first point is understand means comprehend. Use and reflection. After comprehension, just digest the word, and then last is the reflection, means respond to that comprehension. On written text, in order to achieve one's goals, to develop one's knowledge and potential, and to participate effectively in society, means holistic development of a child through reading literacy. Measuring reading literacy in PISA: understand the piece of writing, interpret it, use critical and logical reasoning, apply and arrive conclusion. If I talk about a simple comprehension passage, so first of all, we read the passage, we try to comprehend the passage, then interpret it within the text example or out of the text example. Then use critical and logical reasoning. After reading that, reasoning must be seen. Apply and arrive conclusion. And when you have completed all these 3 parameters, at last you are able to ask the question and you are able to answer the questions. Then reading is thinking. As per my notion, what I think reading, I feel reading is thinking. Why? How reading is thinking? First of all, we get a text. Text is a material kept in front of us. Whether it gives us temptation or not, it all depends on the text. That is why all publishers and they are doing a lot of efforts to make it beautiful with number of pictures, mind mapping, and other graphical designs also. Then infer. Infer means come to some conclusion from evidences and reasons. Once you visualize, you become tempted to the text, then you start inferring. I have not started reading yet. I have not started reading the passage yet. This is just a visualization. And after inferring, predict. Here I have started reading. I started prediction after reading what the passage is all about. Once I completed the passage, I come to some conclusion or summarization. And after summarizing, we can ask the question, we can give the answers also. Text classification in reading literacy. Text is classified into 4 parts. One is continuous, another is non-continuous, mixed text, multiple text. What is the difference, or what is a continuous text? The continuous text is formed by sentences and paragraphs. So if we encounter the book, if we start reading the books, we may find these different parameters in these different formats in the text. So first, if I talk about continuous text is the text which is written in the sentences and paragraphs. So it needs speed reading. Rita ma'am will elaborate all traits of reading, parameters of reading. I'm just giving you a small glance only. So continuous reading is sentences and paragraph. Here we can use the strategy of speed reading. So newspaper, report, and novels come under it. Non-continuous are the tables, list, schedule, and form. It needs visualization. Much reading or line to line reading is not required. So it needs a visualization. Another is the mixed text. Mixed text contains both continuous also and non-continuous also, means magazines and web pages. They are the content is made up of continuous and non-continuous formats. Another one is the multiple text. Multiple text is a discrete part of juxtaposed for particular purpose. Just try to understand this multiple text. Multiple text is the text which is not written in the text which is given to you. That is some secret or the hidden text which comes in your mind, means implementation of outside, whatever knowledge you have, that you relate with it, you can compare with it, comparison can be given, whatever text is given to you, that this we can do in our reading and comprehension passages or the stanzas we get from our books. Suppose one poem paragraph is being given for the reference to the context, that can be related to the previous paragraph and the next paragraph. This is called multiple text format. Then text type. There are three types of text. One is description, another is narration, and third one is exposition. Description text are, kindly listen it to carefully because I'll conduct one activity on this at the end of my session. So description is text used in catalogs, blogs, and diary, even technical manuals. Narration is a text used in novels, comic scripts, newspaper reports. And exposition is a text used in essays, encyclopedia entries. Means description is small. This is larger than description. Narration is larger than description, and exposition is larger than description and narration also. That means it is the largest one. Now, reading literacy is divided into two parts, as since beginning I'm saying within text and outside knowledge. So it is divided into two parts. One is use content primarily from within the text, and another is draw primarily upon outside knowledge. So when a text is in front of us and we are reading it, what we are doing, we are accessing it and retrieving, reading it, understanding it, and after that we are integrating and interpreting, and at the end we are coming to the question answers. But second is outside knowledge. When we go for outside knowledge, we reflect and evaluate. Whatever text is given to us, we understand that, then relate this text to the outside knowledge, then reflect, and at the end evaluate. Text situation in reading literacy, there are different domains. Which type of text we used to write? Personal text we used to write, means whatever letters we are writing to our relatives or somewhere else, they are called personal. Fiction is all our expressions, diary style, and blog. Then public is the public notion, news, website, which is open for the public. Occupational is a job advertisement in newspaper or online. And then is the educational, that they are textbook, interactive learning softwares. This all you know about. Now it is ways of reading a text. How do we read a text? First of all is skimming. What is skimming? What we are doing nowadays? We are reading the manuals given by CBSE, taking the gist and just explaining over here. This type of reading is called skimming. Another one is scanning. Here in scanning, what we used to do, we just read a text, scan it in our mind, and then later on search information about it and incorporate those search, whatever we surf and our findings, we incorporate it. So this is called scanning type of reading. Then is extensive reading. In extensive reading means long readings for which we want proper time, proper attention, and mind free from all worries and woes. And then this type of reading we take. It is a novel or any text or any long reading which you feel like reading. Intensive reading is a concentrating on the text. Intensive reading, we can say the textbook or syllabus based reading is called intensive reading. There are 5 levels of reading: elementary reading, inspectional reading, analytical reading, syntopical reading, and speed reading, which Dr. Rita Sharma will be explaining. So this is the base of, actually this actually is the base of today's workshop. PISA is just a beginning, means we are preparing ourselves for PISA. That is why reading literacy was started with the PISA, but actual essence of today's workshop is all these 5 parameters which Dr. Rita Sharma will be taking. Now, I have already talked about these descriptive, narration, and exposition reading. Here I am giving you, this is an exercise. Let's do an exercise. These are some text written on the top: newspaper reports, blog, novel, comics, encyclopedia, and catalog. Kindly put these in the given verses. These verses are given to you. Just put which content will come in the description bars, what will be in the narration, and what will be in the exposition within 1 or 2 seconds, please. Try it. It's not difficult.
Deepa ma'am, how to put it in the bus?
Ma'am, just put it in your brain only. I'm just going to answer.
I thought you have made such an active one that you can pull and put it in
Yes,
the
yes.
bus.
Keep it
Oh
in.
God.
I have already put them in a vase in next.
Okay.
Okay, done, ma'am. Done. So here I'm ready with the answers. You can check your answers, whether we are wrong or right. See, description, catalog and blog is under description. And narration is and in the vase of narration, novel, comic, newspaper reports, and in the vase position, encyclopedia is there. I hope you all must have given the right answer, isn't it? Okay. So see, I'll not take much time because the ma'am has to elaborate this reading literacy. So I end my session with this beautiful quotation, which is reading is dreaming with eyes wide open. I hope you all agree with these words. Reading is dreaming with eyes wide open. So while we read with wide eyes open, that goes to our mind and then it reflects from our personality. So reading is must, means if you want to lose somewhere, lost in books. Thank you so much.
Wonderful share, wonderful starting of reading literacy session by Deepa Bhatt ma'am. Now I would like to invite Dr. Rita Sharma to start her part or her session. Rita ma'am, kindly unmute yourself and share your screen.
Share my screen. A big thank to the president of Sahodaya and all the Sahodaya members to give me an opportunity here once again. And thanks very much for Deepa ma'am that within a limited time she has just given and put a light on this topic. Right now I am just sharing my screen. Am I audible? Hello.
Perfect, ma'am. Perfectly.
Yes, okay. So here, as ma'am has told that there are 5 levels, so I am just tell you after this slide what is speed reading. I am just going to start from here. There are different levels of reading. First is elementary, inspectional, analytical, and syntopic. So what is elementary level of reading? Elementary level, it is the basic and rudimentary, and here we just see the initial skills. Initial skills, it means here we just we learn how to decode the words, the phonics awareness, and especially in a one word there is a adage, if I would like to say, that we learn here, students learn here that learn to read. So the elementary level of reading, it is to learn the initial skills. As far as it is the inspectional reading, here we just by the level of this reading we just learn that for what the book about is. In elementary level we just say that what the sentence says, but in inspectional we just see that what the book about, who is the author, and what is the surface of the book. And the basic difference between these two levels, here we learn that we learn to read and here we read to learn. This is the basic difference. And here the analytical level of reading, it is the analytical level of reading. We just read the book in a very deeper sense. I would like to quote the one quoted by Francis Bacon, who is the great essayist of Renaissance period, and he has just written a beautiful essay about book. So here he has just quoted that some books must be tasted, some books must be swallowed, some books must be chewed and some must be digested. So analytical, it is just in this analytical reading label, we just chewing and the digest the material of the book. So it is just having the deeper sense of the deeper sense of the book. We just see that what is the main theme of the book. And syntopic, here we make the contrast and comparison of the books. For example, if we have just read one book, then what is the basic theme of that book? From that for that purpose, the basic theme of that book, if we want to see the different themes, or we just want to see the basic research, then we have to read the different books related to that theme what we have read. So syntopic, it is the comparative and contrasting study of the book. So once again, I am just making the briefing. Elementary, it is just learn to read. Here, inspectional, read to learn. Analytical, it must be chewed and digested. And syntopic, it is the just comparison and contrasting the theme after reading a lot of books. So it is the broader view and it is the bird's eye view. Inspectional, you can just say it is the skimming systematically. So sometimes we just make the superficial reading of the book. So, and sometimes we read systematically, as ma'am has said, Deepa ma'am, that we skim. So skimming we are just doing, but we are just doing in a very systematic way. Then after we are able to make the gist of that manual. So it is the inspectional what we are just doing. Such kind of activities we can do in our own classroom also. We can just give the books to the students and we can ask that just find out within a limited number of time. There is one difference also between inspectional and analytical. In analytical level of reading, we are having the ample time, but in inspectional, we are having a limited number of time. What is speed reading? Speed reading is the process of rapidly recognizing and absorbing phrases or sentences on a page all at once, rather than identifying individual words. Yes, if we will just identify the individual words, then we will not able to read very fast, and speed reading cannot be possible, because speed reading happens with the right side of the brain, because it has the comprehension skills. It keeps the higher order thinking skills. So speed reading always happens with the right side of the brain, so that we may able to recognizing and observing the phrases at once. Suddenly we just try to recognize the word when the paper comes in front of us. It is boost your reading speed. The pointer method. There are three methods in which way you will boost up the speed, and sometimes we do also. So I am just making the explanation of these 3 points. The pointer method. This pointer method was given by Evelyn Wood. She was the lady, and she has given this method. This is the method by sipping by he just sipped by her own finger. So when we sipped by our own finger, it is the pointer method. While we just assist, we take the help of our finger while reading the paper one by one. It is the pointer method. The tracker and pacer method, it is when we use the pen, and still the pen is having the cap on it. So when we just track the reading by the point of the pen, it depends upon us whether we are just going to underline it or not. So it is the tracker and pacer method. So the main just benefit of these two methods is that in pointer method and in tracker and pacer method, there is one thing that we don't reread the text. Otherwise what happens, sometimes we take the paper and then after we just skip the line, and then we just say that okay, we have read. But when any deep meaning from that paper particular what we have read, if it has been asked from us, then we say okay, once again we have to read. Then the regression comes once again. So in pointer and in tracker and pacer method, it doesn't happen. It is not for the regression. The scanning, it is just we scan all the words by our own eyes. So scanning, what we do every day, we do this thing in our office. So I am giving an example. For example, if we just want to see the phone number of our friends, so then we take the contact directory, and then after we try to, so we scan all the things, whatever we are just thinking. So it is the scanning method. So there are 3 methods in which way we can just boost up our reading speed. It is that how to improve our your speed reading. So overcome Sub-vocalization. Sub-vocalization, it means check the inner monologue. Check the inner monologue. It means sometimes it happens that when a student reads the book, there are a lot of words and his mouth is filled with a lot of words. बहुत सारा वो he is having a different kind of words, or we feel that he is speaking. So what happens, there is inner monologue that is continued inside the brain of that student, and words are just, his mouth is filled with the words. So when we are just going to our speed reading, we have to overcome the sub-vocalization. Word chunking. So word chunking, we have to focus upon it. It means in within scanning, you can just say our eye fixation. When we make our eye fixation, how many words we can chunk. Avoid distraction. Avoid distraction, it means concentration we have to put while making the speed reading. Go easy, be comfortable, and just suggest this thing to your students also. Sometimes it happens they are not having any interest in a particular chapter or particular book what you have said to them. So first of all, try to understand the level of them, and then prescribe a particular book to read that, so that they may get the interest, and then after they can just upgrade their level. As I have said earlier also, there's not a D to A, but we have to do the work slowly, D to C, then B, and then A. So we have to comfort with the prescribed books. What we are just saying to the students, cover words that you have already read. Know what you want from the text. Especially, it's very mandatory to know that ultimately what we are just finding from this book. I am giving the example as a novel has been prescribed in the syllabus, and then poetry is prescribed, literature is prescribed, and then grammar portion is prescribed. So first of all, we have to know that this is for extensive reading, this is for intensive reading, this is for inspectional reading, this is for analytical reading, this is for syntopical reading. So first of all, we should know that what is the purpose behind that. Benchmark your progress. It's very mandatory. We should benchmark our progress. We should set a goal. We should become a time. We should just create a time maker, and then ultimately practice. No need to say that practice makes a man perfect. This is the reading speed what I have just taken from this source. First grade students, WPM stands for word per limit. Kindergarten 10 word per limit. First grade 23 word per limit. Second grade 72, third grade 92, fourth grade 112, fifth grade 140, 6 to 8 170, and it can be above according to the practice. Comprehension reading strategy. Here we are having the comprehension reading strategy predicting. I am giving the example for that. For example, if someone slams the door, it means he closes the door after making a lot of noise. So it means what is the prediction? Prediction will be there. It means he is somewhat upset while closing the door. So it is the prediction. Questioning, we can just, so such kind of things must be told to the students. As I have told that if he is closing the door, so then the sense, the prediction must be just understood or comprehended by the students. Questioning must be there. Summarizing, we should tell the central idea of what chapters, what we have told to the student using prior knowledge. It's very important. We should students must be aware with the prior knowledge. It means we should prepare the background for the students. For example, if we are just teaching them synthesis, then it's our duty to tell the just simple, complex, and compound, and then after they will able to know the synthesis. So using prior knowledge is mandatory. Creating mental image, it's very important. It happens especially in the literature. I am giving here one example more. In few poems, we just see that there is a beautiful picture imagery. I am giving the example over here. There is a poem in class 12 that it has been composed by John Keats. That the true a thing of beauty. So here there are a beautiful picturization there, that hills are there, and just mountains are there, plants. So there is a different kind of imagery. It has been created by the words. So such kind of words are coming, then teacher can just say to the students, create the mental image, and they can create the image, it can be the part of art integration also. Making inference, yes, making inference, it means there are different kind of evidences, reasons and conclusion, and we can make the inference. For example, if we will say that that there are 4 sentences, and we can just give a different kind of sentences to the students from a particular chapter. There is a one sentence, and to support that sentence we can give a different kind of more sentences, and then ask the students that which sentence is making the inferring, which sentence is making the inference from these sentences. I will give the example in further slide. Monitoring comprehension. Monitoring comprehension is the most needed aspect. For example, we should ask, we should be aware, teacher must be aware as well as the students must be aware to know that I am having the problem with the chapter number, that one I am having the problem with the unit number, chapter number and the line number, the particular word. So it's our duty that in which way we are monitoring that from which aspect a particular student is having the problem. Promote comprehension before, during, after. It's very mandatory thing. When we it's our duty to just promote, we can promote the comprehension before the chapter, during the chapter and after that chapter. We can just provide the different kind of checklist. Using text structure and features, it is very prominent. Using text structure, it means it is, we can tell to the students that the story is, this is the sequence of the story, this is the event of the story, this is the problem, and this it's the solution. So these kind of using text structure we can just do. Metacognition, it is then higher order thinking about thinking. It is metacognition. We have already ma'am has just taken the a very fantastic session upon that. SQ3R, S, it means survey. We must survey what we have read. Q, questioning. We must when while reading any text or while reading any book, first of all we must survey. Then after we should keep a question, that what kind of questions we are having in our mind. And then 3R stands for, first R stands for reading, second for recite, and third for relate. So first we should read, then after we should recite. It means we should write in our own words. And third R, it is for relate. So just to relate those aspects what we have read. This is critical reasoning. That is the very important aspect. Understand, analyze, and evaluate arguments. Actually, critical reasoning is a test to capacity. It is the test that critical reasoning. It just tests our capacity, and we are able to understand our. We are able to analyze. We are able to evaluate the arguments. This is the one example, and this example is just related to critical reasoning. I would like to say that all of you can find out the question, which answer is right. Many business offices are located in building having 2 to 8 floors. If a building has more than floors, it has a lift. If the above statements are true, which of the following must be true? So A, second floors do not have lifts, 7th floors have lifts, only floors above the 3rd floors have lifts, all floors may be reached by lifts. So here you can just see, it is just having the conclusion also, and it is the main aspect of critical reasoning. All floors may be reached by lift, which is the wrong answer, because we are having only 2 to 8, just we are having the, if a building has more than 3 floors, so building after 3, then lifts will be there. It means all floors may be reached by lift is the different kind of questions. And second floors do not have lifts, only floors have, the 3rd floors have lift. It is also the wrong answer, because if there are 8 floors, then all the floors are having the lifts. And so B is the right answer, that 7th floors have lifts. Only floors have of the 3rd floors have lifts. Both A and C are having the same logic. So this is basic concept of critical reasoning. Argument, it is the statement. It is the particular statement, and by the statement, when we read the statement, we try to understand that really it is the argument. Conclusion, facts and assumption. Conclusion बनता है facts and assumption, and that is called conclusion. Premises includes the reason and evidence behind a conclusion. It is the example here. A student 10th has not performed well in the first written examinations. Since then, in almost all the written exams, his scores grades have been very poor. This shows that he has consistently failed to perform. Therefore, he should be given special coaching. A student 10th has not performed. It is the statement that has been given. So it is the statement and it is the argument. So let us see premises first. Then after argument, just see the premise. What a premise? It gives the reason and evidence. The second line, it is the reason and evidence. In almost all the written exams, his sports grades have been very poor. It is the evidence that is, and you can just say the very this line is making the it is the supporting line for the first statement that student has not performed well in the first written examination. Since then, this shows that he has consistently failed to perform. So the first line, it is the argument. Second and third line support the reason and evidence, that what is the reason and what is the evidence. And fourth one, it is the conclusion that is based on facts, and therefore he should be given special coaching. So what are the facts? Facts are here that he has not well in all of the subjects, his scores are very poor, and he has consistently failed to perform. It is the evidence. So premises, reason and evidence, and it becomes the facts, and then facts and assumption becomes the conclusion. So words like therefore, thus, clearly, in, conclusion, finally, that is why, for this reason, it follows, that, then, it is, etc. are conclusion indicators, as you have just seen in the last sentences also. Therefore was there. Words like because, as, since, due to, on the basis of, based on the fact, that, etc. are premise indicators. Long RC passage, long reading. RC stand for reading comprehension passage. What kind of things we should put? We should grab our attention while reading the long passage, reading comprehension. Focus on the opening and closing. So we must tell to our students that focus on the opening and closing. Sometimes it happens that students, when they try to read, they don't know that what is the actual reading at the time of the opening, and what is the actual sense when the passage is going to be closed. So focus on the open and closing. Use context. It is very prominent if a question has been asked. So while giving the answer of that question from the long reading comprehension, just to tell to the students, then while searching the answer, they will just read the before 2 lines and after 2 lines where the actual answer has been written, so that they may get the right context, and then after they will give the right answer. Sharpen your skills. Sharpen your skills. It will happen when you will make a lot of practice and practice. Work on vocab. Vocab, already I have given this picture that vocabulary is the currency of the classroom. Depends upon the vocab, that in which way we will learn the vocab. Tone of the passage. The tone refers to the general attitude the author displays towards the topic. Which kind of, because it's very mandatory, there are different kind of words in a para that can be adjective or different kind of parts of speech, if we will just say. So sometimes it happens that the students are not putting the attention towards those particular adjectives, adverb, and then they take the meaning, and then after they are not able to know the actual tone of the passage. So negative words, just say, focus on to find out the negative words from that para. For example, here I have just given these words: positive words, cheerful, optimistic, inspiring; mild words, breezy, sunny, warm, dedicate, kind, balmy; strong words, able-bodied, invigorated; sarcastic words, sardonic, acerbic; ironic word, double-edged, humorous. So when we are just teaching, or when we are just reading, so at the time we should tell to the students that what is the tone of the passage, and we should take the particular words from the the sense that which kind of tone it is, the which kind of words or which kind of tone this passage is going to create. Identify the nature of the passage, that's very prominent, because it happens that few students are very interested to read the literary passage, some are interested in social science passage, some. So in our exam time we have just seen that passage, sometimes passage comes from the science based, sometimes passage comes from business economic word, sometimes passage come from social science word. So what we have to do, we should say to our students the social science passage, so we should promote the students to read the article and editorial page of the newspaper, especially for the environmental websites and competition section review, competition success review, that CSR kind of journal magazines. We must appreciate the efforts of the students who are using such kind of things to know the vocab of social world. Business economic, it is sometimes it's very boring if our students are not aware with the terminology of business economic word, it becomes so difficult. Business economic word, we can just promote to our students to say that for finding the terminology of business economic word, they should just read the Business World, Business Today and Economics Times kind of magazine. Science based passage, just we should say, science just it is connecting the technology also and then science also. So there are different subject, chemistry, physics, bio, the whole portion of science. So what we should say to the student, we should promote our students to read the Safari, Discovery, International Science Journal. So what will happen, the students will able to identify the nature of the passage. Cross-linked vocab, it is the example. I have just taken the word clean, and you will just see that in every just line, the meaning of clean, it will be clear to you, quite clean. Cottage needs a good clean. He clean here, he clean forget about the dropping the letter in the post box. Clean here completely. The entertainment was good, clean, fun for the family. Wholesome here. He cleaned up verb here to remove the dirt. He cleaned up his act and came off drugs. Cleaned up his act completely and came off drugs. So just see the meaning of clean. Subject specific vocab. Subject specific vocab, it's play a pivotal role. So when the students will identify the different kind of different kind of syllable, they will just read the different kind of journals. They will able to know the different kind of terminology, because every word is playing the different role in different subjects. As pitch, there will be a different meaning in music and different meaning in just physical education. Volume, it is comes in physics also, or it comes in music also. Division, so the same thing. Classical, exercise, it comes in physical education also, or learning activity. Maiden is speech, first speech, and the unmarried girl. So digest to whether we have understood, comprehend, and one for just digested the food. Friction, vessel, it is the one boat or ship also, and vessel, it is the tube in animals and human being also. Gravity, just see gravity, the meaning in English, that sensitivity, and gravity in physics, it will be the different meaning. So it's our duty to tell the students according to the word subject specific vocab we must tell to our students. Classroom transaction strategy. Classroom transaction strategy, it is the last slide, and I am just going to just explain it. Guiding principle, we are having a different kind of principle while maintaining our own class, in which way we follow a different kind of strategy. It is based upon the experience of the teacher. The maxim, it is the experience. What kind of experience? There are different kind of experience. I am just going to tell you, none to unknown. It means what the students know, the old there is a old hook and the new knowledge can be hung over there. So none stands for the old hook, and unknown, it is just stands for the new knowledge. So what will happen? At least students will find the background, and they can just take what you are just giving to them, what you are bestowing upon them. Simple to complex. From simple, we must tell to the complex. Analysis to synthesis. Analysis, it works as an understanding, and synthesis work for the fixation. So before fixation, we must work upon the just understanding. particular to journal. We must tell to our students from we should go with them from particular to journal. Particular, for example, if a teacher is just teaching the past continuous test or present continuous tense in the class, so tell the sentence, the generalization of the sentence. For example, he will tell that how to denote the action at the time of the speaking. So first of all, he will just make the sentences. It is the particular, and then after it will make the general. Empirical to rational. Empirical, it is the some Latin word. It has been just created by the experiment. So first of all, tell by doing the experiment, by doing, and it is having the sense of experiential learning also. That first of all, we let us make a experiment what we have taught to them, and then after tell the rational activity, rational, logical. So experiment to logical. Induction to deduction. Induction to deduction. Induction, it is a some specific thing. It means specific to journal thing. I am giving one example also. There is a, for example, there is a sentence that my mother earns the money, my father earns the money, my brother earns the money, my sister earns the money in my family. So it means all my family member earns the money. So induction, it means every person is just doing, it is the, you are making the specific thing, because we are just saying that all are doing, but the essence of all four sentences, it means all are doing, it is the conclusion. So when we are teaching in the class, we should just go towards the specific sense, and then after we should go to the general sense. So deduction, for example, deduction as if we are just saying that all my family member earns the money and John is my family member, so it is the deduction. Here what is going on, here it is a one general thing, and then we are making the specific. Psychological to logical. Psychological, it means we should know the interest or the attitude or the behavior. It's very important for the even that a student is able to read what you are telling, what you are just teaching, whether that student is having an interest in your deliverance or not. So psychological, then after be logical. Actual to representative. Actual to representative, most of the times we do this thing in our class. First of all, make the actual just deliverance, actual thing to the students. For example, if any chapter in kindergarten or in primary wing, if it is related to the camel or then a girl with basket, so first of all we should show that a particular actual thing to our students, and then after book must be used as the representative tool in our classroom. Near to FR, we should tell to the students as near. If we are just telling about the country, so we will just start to tell Tehsil, we will tell then district, and then state, and then country. Whole to part. Whole to part, it means first of all let them the whole, and then make the part from it. For example, just show the plant, and then after make the parts of that plant. So it is the whole to part. Definite to indefinite. Definite to indefinite. Definite, it means what things is quite visible, and indefinite, that is not visible. For example, concept and ideas are not visible, but things are visible. So we should tell to our students, we should show them what is visible, and then after we should move towards the indefinite. So these are the different classroom transaction strategy while focusing upon the reading literacy. Learning outcomes and strategy. Learning outcomes, we are having, we have to understand ki what is our purpose and how much our student have done, kitna wo jaan gaye hain, or what was our own object. Strategy, we can use a different kind of strategy in our classroom as debate, quiz, or just different kind of tools, model, visualization we can just use while just making the classroom transaction. Core learning outcomes. Core learning outcomes, we can think there is a just 4 or 5 words here. Core learning outcomes, first of all, think, then engage, then create, then after and then communicate, and then apply. So there are these core learning outcomes here. Fallacy, one size fits all is fallacious. Sometimes it happens that we feel one size fits all is fallacious. There are 2 or 3 activities what we do in our classroom. First, as Robin round circle. It means we say as reading session is going in the class, so one by one, all the students will read that chapter. Then what will happen? The students who is not able to understand or who is not comfortable to read out all the text, so they become they are full of anxiety. I have just given a one just little video over this one, that every students are not comfortable, but every student is not comfortable to read what you have said. So this kind of fallacy must be just checked from the classroom. Sometimes it happens we ask the question, blurt out the questions, that we ask the questions, and within a 1 or 2 minutes the exceptional girl or boy of the class, exceptional student of the class, they give the answer. So the students who are not able to give the answer instantly, they feel nervous, they feel anxiety and different kind of things, just negative attitudes they are getting. So we should give the time for such kind of students. Instructional shift, choreographer of learning. Teacher is the choreographer of learning because he has to follow a lot of tools, and different tools we have just given in the previous slide. High quality instructional strategy. High quality instructional strategy, it means to overcome this fallacy. What we have to do, group responding or chorus response. We should move forward towards the group responding. We should just focus upon the peer learning. We can make the group in our class. We can just say to the students that, okay, think more, and from your own group, one student will just say, one speak. Then what will happen is students will learn a lot. Classroom whip around. Here, this strategy is very prominent. Here the teacher will randomly ask to the students, they will jot down their own ideas what they have written, and then particular teacher will ask the question. So these are some particular strategy. I have given a one just overview of this literacy, reading literacy. So my just topic has been finished. I am just trying to show you a one little video over the fallacy.
Can I have your attention, Ishan? Ishan! I said page 38, chapter 4, paragraph 3. Read the first sentence and point out the adjectives. Page 38, Ishan. Aditlaba, just help the boy. Come on, the rest of you, look into your books. Read the first sentence and tell me what the adjectives are. Okay, come on. Let's all mark the adjectives together. Just read the sentence for me. Just read the sentence, Ishan.
ये तो नाच रहे हैं.
Silence. Speak in English.
The letters are dancing.
They're dancing, are they? Okay, then read the dancing letters. Trying to be funny? Read the sentence loud and proper. I said loud and proper, Ishan. Loud and proper. Loud and proper.
Hello. So ma'am, just I have just tried to show that by the medium of this video. Hello.
Yes, yes, you
हाँ,
are
sir.
audible,
Okay,
audible.
okay. So that fallacy, one size fits all, it's not true. It is the cause of the fallacy. And in this video, I have showed that it is not the one size that will be fit to all. So we have to make the different kind of strategy for each and everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful session, ma'am. Wonderfully, you have explained all the
Ma'am,
methodology
I have tried
and
my best, but I am also the
really,
learner.
really appreciable, really appreciable. And whatever we have learned today, I think if we will implement all those methodologies and strategies in reading comprehension or reading like things in the languages, so definitely we would be able to enhance reading competencies of our students very soon. So thank you so much for your wonderful session. And now I would like to invite Madam Gunjan Bansal to share her screen. And okay, Gunjan ma'am, you have shared the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay,
Just give me a moment.
right.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Deepti ma'am, for giving me again opportunity for the workshop. And thank you, Deepa ma'am and Rita ma'am, for explaining the meaning very deeply of reading literacy. Deepa ma'am and Rita ma'am both have explained that what is reading literacy, what is types of these reading literacy are there, and everything both the resource person have explained everything. I am here to have some PISA assessment and with some sample also. So I would like to share my first slide. Reading proficiency level in PISA 2009. In addition to reporting the average mean scores for each country, PISA is able to provide a profile of students' reading, mathematics, and science performance using proficiency level. Categories that summarize the skill and knowledge that students are able to display. For PISA 2009, the proficiency level scale for reading literacy was expanded at both ends to provide further information about what the highest and the lowest performing students can do. Now, the second slide is that these are the levels indicated that by what level the student is, at which level he is. So I'm starting with level 6. Level 6 says that make multiple interference, comparison and contrast, demonstrate a complete and detailed understanding of one or more texts, integrate information from one text. The reader may be required to deal with unfamiliar ideas in the presence of prominent competing information. This is what the level number 6 says when the child is at 6th level. Next is level 5. Locate and organize several pieces of deeply embedded information. Infer which information in the text is relevant, critically evaluate, or hypothesis drawing on specialized knowledge. Means when they are drawing special something, the child is on level 5. When the child is able to understand with the help of special drawing, that means the specialized knowledge he has to be opt. Level number 4, locate and organize several pieces of embedded information, interrupt the meaning of nonsense of language in a section of text, demonstrate an accurate understanding of long and complex text whose content or form may be unfamiliar. Sometimes some unfamiliar things are coming, so the student is not able to understanding the reading literacy. That is of the level 4. At level 3, locate and isolate cases, recognize the relationship between several pieces of information, integrate several parts of text in order to identify the main idea, locate required information that is not prominent or where there is much competing information, demonstrate a fine understanding of text in relation to familiar everybody knowledge. Level number 2, locate one or more pieces of information, recognize the main idea in a text, understand relationship or construe meaning within a limited part of text when the information is not prominent or the reader must make low level inferences. Then comes level number 1A. Locate one or more independent pieces of explicitly stated information. Recognize the main theme or author purposes in the text about familiar topic. Make simple connection. This is that when the child is able to connecting the things with simple connections only, not using more than or creating more things. Level number 1B. This is the thing that locate a single piece of explicitly stated information in a prominent position in short, symmetrically simple text with a familiar context and text type in which there is a high level of support for the reader. In this, there is a high level of support. The student is getting the high level of support for the reading part. Then this next comes below level 1B. Not able to demonstrate even the most basic type of reading literacy. These are according to the PISA assessment. There are some reading examples. This is the sample from the PISA I have taken. This is the reading unit 1 labor. In this, many examples are given, but reading I am taking this one only from PISA assessment. The T diagram below shows the structure of the country's labor force or working age population. The total population of country in 1995 was about 3.4 millions. The labor force structure year ended 31st March 1995. This is the reading given that how the labor force is structured in the year 31st March. The working age population, it's given in the figure that it's 2656.5. Then again, it is divided into two parts, in labor force and not in the labor force. Then it's come unemployment, is the figure is given 1 to 8.1, and that means 7.5%. Employed, and then again there are two parts of employed, full employment and part-time employment. Then again, part-time has two parts, seeking full-time work and non-seeking full-time work. In unemployment, again there are two parts, seeking full-time work and seeking part-time work. Numbers of people are given in thousands. Here the numbers are written. This is, for example, total age population. This is there. In the labor force, this is 1706.5. This is given in the thousands. The working age population is defined as people between the age of 15 and 65. The ages given in this T diagram is 15 and 65. People not in labor force are those not actively seeking work or not able for work. This is some questions when we read the paragraph, when we give any comprehension or any passage to the students, questions comes. So this is the question number 1. What are the two main groups into which the working age population is divided? A, employed and unemployed. B, for working age and not for working age. Full-time workers and part-time workers. In labor force and not in labor force. So what is the correct answer? According to the street diagram, the correct answer is D1, in the labor force and not in the labor force. Question number 1.2, how many people of age working were not in labor force? Right, let us see the answer. Full credit, the answer is that indicated that the numbers in the T diagram and the hundreds in the title footnotes have been integrated. 9,49,900 allows approximation 9,49,000 and for 9,50,000 in figures or words. So this type of answers the student has to choose while reading the paragraph or any passage. Then the answering these questions correctly correspond to the difficulty of 361 score points on the PISA reading scale. Giving a partially correct answer to these questions corresponds to a difficulty of 485 score points on the reading scale. See the difference. Here it is 361 and then it comes 485. Across OECD countries, 46% of students answer correctly. Then next I have taken a sample reading items from extract from book and article published in various magazine and journal. This I am going to read the paragraph and will answer to the question. And in the last, I'll give some time to so that participants read the paragraph and will give the answer. Meditation. The topic is meditation. Watching is meditation. Watching you watch is irrelevant. You can watch the tree. You can watch the river. You can watch the clouds. You can watch the children playing around. Watching is meditation. What you watch is not the point. The object is not the point. The quality of observation, the quality of being aware and alert, that's what meditation is. Remember one thing, meditation means awareness. Whatsoever do you with awareness is meditation. Action is not the question, but the quality that you bring to your action is. Walking can be meditation if you walk alert. Sitting can be meditation if you sit alert. Listening to the birds can be meditation if you listen with awareness. Just the listening to the inner voice of your mind can be meditation if you remain alert and watchful. The whole point is one should not move in sleep. That then whatsoever do you is meditation. The first step in awareness is to be very watchful of your body. Slowly one becomes alert about each gesture, each movement. And as you become aware, a miracle starts happening. Many things that you used to be before simply disappear. Your body becomes more relaxed. Your body becomes more attuned. A deep peace starts prevailing even in your body. A subtle music pulsate in your body. Then start becoming aware of your thoughts. The same has to be done with emotions. You will be surprised what goes on inside you. If you write down whatsoever is going on at any moment, you will be surprised what goes on inside you. If you write down whatsoever is going on at any moment, you are in for a great surprise. You will not believe that this is what is going on inside you. And 10 minutes later, read it. You will see a mad mind inside, because we are not aware the whole madness goes on running like an undercurrent. And effect whatsoever you are doing, it's affect everything, and the sum total of it is going to be your life. So this madman has to be changed, and the miracle awareness is that you need not to be anything, do anything except expect, just become aware. The very important, the very phenomena of watching is changes it. Slowly the madman disappear. The thoughts starts failing into a certain pattern that shows is no more. They become more of cosmos. A deeper peace prevails, and when your body and your mind are at peace, you will be see that they are untuned to each other too. There is a bridge. Now they are running in different directions. They are not riding different horses. First, for the first time, there is an accord, and that accord helps immensely to work on the third step. That is becoming aware of your feelings, emotions, moods. That is a sublist layers and the most difficult. But if you can be aware of your thoughts, then it is just one more step. A little more intense aware is needed, and you start reflecting on your moods and your emotions and your feelings. Once you are aware of all these three, they all become joined into a phenomena, And when all these three are one, functioning together perfectly, humming together, you are feeling the music of all the three. They have become orchestra. Then the fourth happens, which you cannot do. It happens on the accord. It is the gift from the whole. It is reward from those who have done these three. And the fourth is the ultimate awareness that makes one awakened. One becomes aware of one's awareness. That is the fourth. Then makes the Buddha and awaken. And only in that awakening does come to know that bliss is. The body knows pleasure, the mind knows happiness, the heart knows joys, the fourth knows bliss. Bliss is the goal of sannyas, of being a seeker, and awareness is the path towards it. The important thing is that you are watchful, that you have not forgotten to watch, that you are watching. Slowly, as the watcher becomes more and more solid, stable, unaware, and transformation happens. The things that you are watching disappears. For the first time, the watcher itself becomes the watched. The observer itself becomes observed. You have come home. So this is a paragraph I have read out from this manual. Now, there are the questions. I'll read out the question. The whole journey, first question, the whole journey of watching flows a particular order. Arrange the following option in the correct order. First is awareness of thought. Second is awareness of moods. Third, awareness of one's awareness. Fourth is awareness of body. The options are given below, A, B, C, and D. The correct one is C. Let's see. Fourth one is awareness of the body. Means the first thing is coming for the whole journey is awareness of the body. Then comes first one, awareness of thoughts. Then second, awareness of moods. And the last will come at third point, awareness of one's awareness. So after reading the passage or comprehension or anything, the student has to give the answer after reading the question. In this manner, the reading comprehension has a question and answer. Second question is that from the passage, which of the following statements are true in respect of ultimate awareness? The first line is that constant practice helps us to achieve ultimate awareness. Second, all those who can watch their moods can attain ultimate awareness. It is conscious outcome or practices of watching, and ultimate awareness is bliss. So out of this, we have to choose that which statement are true. So according to this, when we have read the passage, only 3 statements are correct. So 3 statements are correct. Number 1, 2, and 3. Ultimate awareness of is bliss. This is not correct because we have read in the paragraph that ultimate awareness makes one awakened. Question number 3. The author in the passage talks about a mad mind. Which of the following assumption is made by author? So according to the passage we have read, the answer is A. Mind of all men are mad. Question number 4. Which of the following titles is definitely true about meditation? Title comes is watching is meditation. Bliss in the above passage would mean awareness of external environment, awareness of an internal self. Which statement is correct? So answer is statement second is true. That is awareness of an internal self. So this is the forms of question which we can give the students or which we get in the books. So many examples are given in this reading literacy manual. One I have read out and given the answers. Suppose this is also an Indian sports scenario. This all paragraph and question answers are given. This is the very easiest topic I have taken, yoga. This I'll give you all the participants are getting the time. Read the passage carefully and the time limit is 7 to 8 minutes. So read the passage. I'll share first slide 3 minutes, then second slide 3 minutes, or it can be 3.5, 3.5. So when the participants read, please mention in the chat box.
Gunjan ma'am, can we skip this activity in a short, or like you just do it in some other way? Because already time schedule is tight.
Okay. So, okay, we will share that slide on the, if anyone is interested, they can take from the YouTube also and they can do it. So in this manner, the topics are given. In this way, we can make the student, in this many questions also are given. And this is the answer key given in the last for all the topics. So everyone can do their practice at that, check that at what level they are. So these are the examples that I have shared you. And this is only, again, thank you. That's all. Hello, Deepti ma'am.
Yes, yes. So thank you so much. All the three resource person of today's session are like a wonderful presentation they have given all. And I think whatever, for what purpose we have designed these Sahodaya workshops, we are successfully moving towards reaching the goal. And I am thankful to the Deepa Bhatt ma'am and Dr. Rita Sharma and Gunjan ma'am all together. And wonderful session you have organized. And I think definitely all of us, those who have attended the session, definitely will implement whatever we have learned related to the methodology, strategy, and what kind of scenario the CBSE is having about the PISA. What kind of competency we need to build among our students, whether it is related to the reading literacy or the scientific literacy or mathematical literacy. So it is our first step to understand about the reading literacy, and definitely we all together will implement in our schools. So thank you so much, participants, for being with us. And if you have any kind of question or query, you are free to ask. We will devote 5 to 7 minutes for answering your questions. So definitely we would be welcoming your questions. So anything, any question, and if you have, so you can put down in the chat box so that we can throw that question to the our resource persons today. No question? Okay, once again, on the behalf of Sahodaya and CR East, I would like to thank you to all the... Yes.
I want to say something on the behalf of Sahodaya School Complex as a treasurer of this group, that everyone is under the COVID period. So I want to give the reminder for the depositing of annual fees. So whosoever is in the group, and I'll drop the message also. So please, I request all the members of Sahodaya to please deposit your annual fees of rupees 5,000. That's all. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all to be here. And next workshop session we are going to organize on Sahodaya under the banner of Sahodaya on particularly scientific literacy. So as usual, we have this process that every Monday we are keeping the session, but next Monday is the Raksha Bandhan, so we are shifting it to the Tuesday. So you can give them access to your school faculty members. The science department can join on Tuesday with us at 4 o'clock sharp. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.